Small businesses are still using pen and paper for critical operations in 2026. Not because they're cheap, not because they're technologically resistant, because nobody's built the right web app. Walk into any neighborhood cafe and ask the owner what their biggest operational headache is. They won't say marketing. They won't say customer acquisition. They'll say scheduling, employee swaps, last minute callouts, tracking who's available when. They'll show you a group chat with 47 unread messages and a printed calendar on the wall covered in crossed out names and question marks. Then they'll tell you they tried 3 different scheduling apps. All of them failed. Here's what nobody tells you about small business web apps. The market isn't unsolved. It's solved wrong. Every solution was built by someone who thought running a cafe meant managing a distributed team of remote developers. Beautiful interfaces, Slack integrations, advanced analytics dashboards. None of it matters when your cashier needs to find someone to cover their Friday shift in 45 seconds while customers are waiting. I'm going to show you 7 small business problems that web apps still haven't solved correctly. Not because the problem is hard, because everyone who tried to solve it built the wrong thing for the wrong people. And if you rebuild these the right way, you won't compete with existing solutions. You'll replace them. Let's start. First idea, shift scheduling for cafes. Walk into any independent coffee shop at 7:30 on a Saturday morning and watch what happens when someone calls in sick. The manager stops making drinks, pulls out their phone, opens the group chat, types, "Anyone available to cover Emily's shift? 9 to 3 today." Then they wait. 20 minutes, checking their phone between customers. 3 people respond, "Sorry, can't." 1 person doesn't respond at all. Finally, someone says, "I can do 11 to 3 if someone covers the first 2 hours." Now they're coordinating a 2-person coverage arrangement via text message while the line backs up. This happens multiple times per week. Not occasionally. Multiple times per week. They know it's chaos. They've tried scheduling software. They've Googled employee scheduling app for small business. They found When I Work, Deputy, Homebase. All of them cost $50 to $80 per month. All of them require employees to download an app and create accounts. Half the staff never sets it up. The other half forgets their password. So managers go back to the group chat. Not because it works, because it's the least bad option they've found. Here's what they actually need. A shift swap board that works like Craigslist. Employees post "I need Friday off" with 1 tap. Other employees claim it with 1 tap. No accounts. No apps to download. Just a phone number linked to a web interface. They text a code, they're in. You build this using Bubble and Twilio in 2 weeks. Store employee availability in Airtable. When someone posts a shift to swap, the system auto-texts only the people who mark themselves available for that day and time. First person to respond gets it. Manager gets a notification. Done. This isn't scheduling software. It's insurance against operational chaos during your busiest revenue hours. One Saturday morning where you're fully staffed instead of running short generates $200 extra in sales. Your app costs $49 per month. Pays for itself in 3 hours. They'd pay double because the alternative is losing weekend revenue and burning out their reliable staff who have to cover every call out. Cafes don't want workforce management. They want who can cover Sarah's shift right now. You solve that one thing perfectly, you win. But if you think staffing chaos is expensive, wait until you see what keeps repair shop owners awake at night. Second idea, customer equipment tracking for repair shops. Here's a scene that happens at repair shops every single day. A customer walks in looking worried. "I dropped off my laptop 3 weeks ago for a screen repair. Do you still have it?" The person at the counter says, "Let me check." They walk to the back room. 20 laptops sitting on shelves. 15 phones. 8 tablets. None of them labeled with customer names. Just sticky notes that say screen track or battery. The sticky note on one laptop has fallen off. They spend 12 minutes trying to figure out which laptop belongs to which customer. They think they found it. They're 70% sure. This isn't inconvenient. This is catastrophic. Because if they're wrong, they just gave someone else's laptop containing financial records, family photos, and business data to the wrong person. Not a mistake, a lawsuit, complete business destruction. And here's what makes this even worse. The laptop they gave to the wrong customer, it belonged to a lawyer who had client files on it. Now the shop isn't just dealing with one angry customer. They're dealing with a legal malpractice situation, a data breach, and potential regulatory violations. One sticky note falling off just ended their business. Small repair shops operate on paper intake forms and sticky notes. Not because they don't care, because they've looked for solutions. They've Googled repair shop management software. They found Repair Shopper and Service Bell. Both cost $120 per month minimum. Both require barcode printers, label systems, and thermal printer hardware. Both include inventory management for parts, customer relationship tools, marketing automation, and accounting integrations. The shop owner looks at the feature list and thinks, I just need to know which device belongs to which customer. But the software treats that as one feature inside a massive system. They'd have to learn 16 different modules to use the one thing they desperately need. So they stick with sticky notes. Not because it works, because it's the least bad option they've found. Here's the reality nobody wants to say out loud. Repair shop owners aren't worried about inventory optimization. They're terrified of the day a customer walks in and they can't find their device. Or worse, they give them the wrong device. They don't need repair shop software. They need chain of custody tracking for customer property. You know what industry already solved this perfectly? Dry cleaners. Customer drops off clothes, gets a ticket. Every item is tagged. Tag number matches ticket number. When customer returns, scan the ticket, find the exact item instantly. Zero confusion. Zero, let me check the back. Zero anxiety. Repair shops need the same system. You build this using Glide and Airtable in 10 days. Customer drops off their device. Shop owner takes a photo of it on their phone. Front angle, back angle. Any distinguishing marks, scratches, stickers. App auto-generates a QR code. Prints a small label. Sticks the label on the device. Customer gets the QR code texted to them immediately. No email, no app to download. Just a text with a code and a photo of their device. When they come back to pick it up, they show the QR code. Shop owner scans it with their phone. App instantly pulls up the photo, the intake notes, and the exact shelf location. Yes, this is yours. Here's the photo from when you dropped it off. Customer sees their device on screen before the owner even walks to the back. Certainty, confidence, trust. This isn't shop management software. It's insurance against giving someone the wrong device and losing everything. Let me show you the math on this. One lawsuit from giving the wrong device to the wrong customer starts at $20,000 in legal fees. That's before any settlement. Before reputation damage. Before the reviews on Google that say they lost my laptop or they gave me someone else's phone, you charge $79 per month. They'd pay $500 per month because the alternative is one mistake destroying their entire business. And here's why this spreads impossibly fast. Repair shops exist in incredibly tight communities. They're all in the same Facebook groups. Phone repair business owners, computer repair entrepreneurs. When one shop starts using a system that prevents customer equipment mix-ups, every other shop sees the post. Just started using this QR tracking system. Customer came in today and I pulled up their device photo in 3 seconds. They were blown away. 40 comments. What system is that? Does it work for tablets? Can it track serial numbers? Everyone in this industry has a story about almost giving the wrong device to the wrong customer. Or worse, actually doing it. This isn't productivity software. It's catastrophe insurance. And catastrophe insurance isn't price sensitive. Hi, I'm Fariha. I'm building my first web app, Founder Friend, and I share simple web app ideas every Sunday. You don't want to miss this stuff. So hit that subscribe button and let's jump back in. Third idea, supplier price comparison for restaurants. Speaking of catastrophic costs that accumulate invisibly, let me show you what's quietly bleeding restaurants dry. $1,600. That's how much the average small restaurant overpays on food costs every single month. Not because they're bad at negotiating, Because they don't have time to compare prices. Here's Monday morning at a restaurant. The chef opens the walk in cooler. They're low on chicken, tomatoes, and flour. They call their main supplier, place the order, never checks if another supplier has chicken for 30 cents less per pound. Why? Because comparing prices means calling four different suppliers, asking for quotes, waiting for callbacks, manually comparing the numbers. That takes 90 minutes. They have a lunch service in 3 hours, so they order from whoever picks up the phone first. This happens every week, 52 weeks a year. $1,600 per month lost in price inefficiency. They know this is a problem. They've Googled restaurant procurement software. They found platforms like MarketMan and Bluecard. Both require all their suppliers to be on the platform. Half their suppliers aren't. The other half charge a 3% transaction fee to use it. So restaurants stick with phone calls. Not because it's efficient, because it's the least bad option they've found. Now let me show you why most founders building restaurant software fail. Most restaurant tech companies try to solve everything: inventory management, recipe costing, menu engineering, staff scheduling, supplier payments, point of sale integration. They build a restaurant operating system. Nobody buys it. Because when you solve everything, you solve nothing deeply enough. Restaurants don't want a new operating system. They want one specific pain point gone. The owner looks at your feature list and thinks, which of these 16 modules do I actually need? And when they can't answer that question quickly, they don't buy. Get that positioning wrong. You compete with Toast and Square on feature count. Get it right, you compete on surgical pain removal and command premium pricing. Here's what they actually need: a supplier price comparison tool that works via text message. The chef texts a list of items they need: 20 pounds chicken breast, 30 pounds tomatoes, 10 pounds flour. The system auto-sends that list to their three preferred suppliers. Suppliers text back their prices within 30 minutes. The system displays everything in one simple comparison table. Chef sees immediately that supplier A has the best chicken price, supplier B has the best tomato price. They tap to select the best prices per item. System generates the purchase orders and sends them to the winning suppliers. Entire process takes 4 minutes instead of 90. You build this using Twilio, Airtable, and a simple web interface in 3 weeks. No supplier onboarding required. No complicated API integrations. No transaction fees. Just automated text messaging that replaces phone calls. This isn't procurement software. It's insurance against systematically overpaying for food. 1 month of optimized purchasing saves $1,600. Your app costs $99 per month, pays for itself in 2 days. They'd pay triple because the alternative is literally throwing away $20,000 per year. And when the chef shows the owner they saved $400 in the first week, the owner texts 3 other restaurant owners immediately. Word spreads fast because restaurant owners are constantly texting each other asking who's your supplier for X and what are you paying for Y. Fourth idea: loyalty program management for local retailers. You know what's crazy? 5 years ago, small retailers competed with Amazon on convenience. They lost. In 2026, they compete on relationship and loyalty. And they're still tracking it on punch cards. Walk into any local boutique or hardware store and ask if they have a loyalty program. They'll show you a physical punch card. Buy 9, get the 10th free. Then they'll tell you half their customers lose the cards. The other half forget to bring them. So they're rewarding loyalty based on who remembers to carry a piece of cardboard. This isn't just inefficiency, it's lost revenue. A customer who shops with you 6 times per year will shop 12 times if you remind them they're 3 purchases away from a reward. That's double the revenue per customer. They know this. They've looked at loyalty platforms like Square Loyalty or 5 Stars. Both cost $75 to $150 per month. Both require customers to download an app or sign up with email. Customer adoption rate is 15%. Retailers spent 3 months getting customers to sign up. 8 customers downloaded the app. They abandoned it. So they went back to punch cards. Not because they work, because they're the least bad option they've found. Here's what local retailers actually need: SMS-based loyalty tracking with zero customer friction. Customer makes a purchase. Cashier asks, "What's your phone number?" Customer says their number. System auto texts, "Thanks for shopping at Main Street Boutique. You've earned 1 reward point. 4 more until your free item." No app, no email, no card to lose, no password to remember. Just phone numbers they already have. Next time they shop, cashier types their number again. System auto texts, "You've earned another point. 3 more until your reward." When they hit the reward threshold, they get a text with a code. "Congrats, you've earned your free item. Show code loyal247 at checkout." Customer shows the code. Done. You build this using Twilio and Airtable in 2 weeks. Track purchases by phone number. Auto text after each transaction. Store reward thresholds per business. Simple. This isn't a loyalty program. It's insurance against losing repeat revenue to whoever reminds customers to come back. A retailer doing 200,000 annually who increases customer visit frequency by 30% adds 60,000 in revenue. Your app costs $59 per month. Pays for itself if it brings back 3 customers who would have forgotten about the store. They'd pay double because the alternative is watching customers shop once and disappear, while Amazon keeps remarketing to them through email and push notifications daily. Okay, pause for a second. Before we keep going, I need to tell you something important. Because I've given you 3 web app ideas, but just because an idea sounds good doesn't mean your specific version of it will work in your specific target market. And this is where most founders waste months. They pick an idea that sounds promising. They spend 12 weeks building it with no-code tools. They launch it, and then they realize nobody wants what they made. Not because the idea was bad, because they built the wrong version of it for the wrong people at the wrong price point. That's why I built Founder Friend. It's a validation tool that analyzes startup ideas using tri-signal logic. It measures pain signals, intent signals, and gap signals in your specific market and tells you whether to proceed, fix, or kill your idea before you waste time building. It doesn't encourage you. It investigates your idea like a skeptical journalist trying to find holes in your assumptions. Founder Friend is in pre-sale right now. Link is in the pinned comment. Test your ideas before you waste months building the wrong thing. Alright, back to the ideas. Let me rapid fire the last 3 ideas because they follow the same pattern you've already seen. Small businesses are using chaotic manual systems. Not because solutions don't exist. Because existing solutions were built for enterprises and shrunk down instead of built for small business from the ground up. 5th idea. Class attendance tracking for studios. Yoga studios, music schools, and martial arts gyms lose thousands per year in unpaid classes. Someone signs up for a 10-class package, pays upfront, attends 7 classes, never comes back. 3 prepaid classes just sitting there. The studio has no automatic way to follow up because their system doesn't track package expiration. They've tried MindBody and Pike 1.3. Both cost $120 to $180 per month. Both include scheduling, billing, marketing automation, and website builders. All the studio needs is send a text when someone has unused prepaid classes expiring. One feature buried inside 16 modules. You build a simple Airtable and Twilio system. Tracks package usage per student. Auto texts 3 days before credits expire. Hey, you have 3 yoga classes left. They expire in 12 days. Want to book? 40% of recipients book immediately. That's found money for the studio. Your app costs $49 per month. It generates $500 in recovered revenue in the first week. This isn't class management software. It's insurance against leaving money on the table. 6th idea. Bid management for landscaping companies. Landscaping companies send out dozens of quotes every month. Residential lawn care, tree trimming, seasonal cleanup. They track everything in a combination of text messages, emails, and paper notes. Half the time they forget to follow up. The other half they follow up too late and the customer already hired someone else. They've looked at field service software like Jobber and Lawn Pro. Both cost $90 to $150 per month. Both include job scheduling, GPS routing, invoicing, and payment processing. All they need is remind me to follow up on quotes before customers forget about me. You build a quote tracking system using Airtable and automated SMS reminders. When they send a quote, they log it in the system with one tap. System auto texts the customer 2 days later. Hi, this is Green Lawn Services. Just following up on the quote we sent. Any questions? System also auto reminds the landscaper to call the customer 5 days after the quote if they still haven't responded. Simple follow-up automation increases close rate from 30 to 47%. Your app costs $59 per month. One extra job per month pays for it 3 times over. This isn't bid management software. It's insurance against losing deals to whoever follows up faster. Seventh idea: recurring service scheduling for cleaners and pest control. Cleaning companies and pest control businesses operate on recurring schedules, every 2 weeks or monthly. Customers reschedule constantly: vacations, sick days, home construction, family emergencies. The business owner spends hours every week playing phone tag trying to find new appointment times. They've looked at Schedule Once and Calendly. Both require customers to create accounts and browse a calendar of available times. Their customers are 45 to 70 years old. They don't want to log into a scheduling portal. They want to text. You build an SMS-based rescheduling system. Customer texts, "I need to move my Friday cleaning." System auto-recognizes the customer by phone number. Text back 3 alternative times based on the cleaner's actual real-time availability. "We can do Thursday at 2 p.m., Saturday at 10 a.m., or next Monday at 9 a.m. Reply with the number of your choice." Customer texts 2 to select Saturday. System confirms, updates the schedule automatically. Texts the cleaner, "Done." Entire rescheduling takes 30 seconds instead of 4 back and forth phone calls. Your app costs $69 per month. Saves 10 hours of administrative time monthly. That's worth $400 in labor cost alone. The best opportunities don't exist in unsolved problems. They exist in badly solved problems. Every single idea I just showed you has competitors. Scheduling apps exist. Procurement platforms exist. Repair shop software exists. Loyalty programs exist. They all exist. And they all fail the same way. They tried to be everything. Because when venture-backed companies build software, they optimize for maximum features to justify high valuations. When you build software as a solo founder, you optimize for surgical pain removal. You don't need to replace QuickBooks. You need to solve the one thing QuickBooks does badly. You don't need to compete with Toast. You need to solve the one problem Toast ignores because it's too small for them to care about. That's your advantage. Small businesses aren't waiting for the perfect all-in-one solution. They're waiting for someone to fix the one specific thing that's driving them crazy. And they'll pay premium prices for it. And if you want help validating your idea before you build, Founder Friend is in presale. Link is in the pinned comment. Use it to test your assumptions before you invest months building the wrong thing. Stop looking for problems nobody's solved. Start rebuilding the ones someone solved wrong. Let's do this.